I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. Aid us in our plight.
Welcome to our village.
Wait till you see me in action.
Greetings, my lord.
Why have I
Welcome to our
surfaced?
village.
Convince me. Spare the pleasantries. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantry.
First blood.
By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. Enable my revenge. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Drown them all. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. Land-born scum. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Why have I service? This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
Aid us in our plight. Enable my revenge. Why have I service? By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. Why have I service? Spare pleasantries. Enable my revenge. Convince me. Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so.
Dominating.
Alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide
Our brethren's town is under attack.
by ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. This ought to tide you over. Aid us
Our
in
brethren's
our
town
plight.
is under attack.
By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Down the hall. Why have I surfaced? Our alliance binds me. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Ebb and flow. Convince me.
Double kill.
Alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so.
Killing spree.
Born scum. I have I service. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Plans dead. By ebb and flow.
Dominating. Double kill.
I come to you now at the turn of the tide.
What ails you?
You're interrupting my calculations.
Why have I served?
Our brethren's town is under attack.
Spare the pleasantries. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. By ebb
Our
and
brethren's
flow.
town is under attack.
Why have I service? Our alliance binds me. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so.
Killing spree.
I come to by ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over by ebb and flow. Our alliance
Killing spree. Triple kill!
tide you over by ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so by ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me.
Our brethren's town is
By
under attack.
ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over by ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantries.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over by ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so.
Our
By
brethren's town
ebb
is under
and
attack.
flow. I'll make it so. Down them all. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
I come to you now at the crown of the time.
Hello.
More work?
Why have I surfaced?
Our brethren's town is
I'll
under
make
attack.
it so. This ought to tide you over.
Our brethren's
Why
town is
have
under
I
attack.
surfaced? I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so.
Our brethren's
Aid
town is
us
under
in
attack.
our plight. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries by ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me by ebb and flow. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries by ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Why have I surfaced? Our alliance binds me. Convince
Killing spree.
by ebb by ebb and flow. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so.
Our brethren's
Convince
town
me
is under attack.
by ebb and flow. Spare the pleasantries. With me, I'll make it so. I have access by ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance
Our brethren's
binds me.
town is under attack.
Killing
And flow. Our alliance binds me. Enable my within. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Enable my within. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Convince me. Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Convince me. Aid us in our plight. Our alliance binds me.
unstoppable.
I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Convince me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Trees. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Convince me. Aid us in our plight. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me.
Killing spree.
This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
I have access. Our alliance This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. I have our service. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Binds me.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
Double kill.
I come to you now at the turn of the tide. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. Man-born scum. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Fangs dared. Enable my revenge. Convince me. Spare the pleasantries. Why have I surfaced? Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow.
Killing spree. Double kill. Dominating. Triple kill. Mega kill. Ultra kill.
I come to you now at the turn of the tide. Spare the pleasantries.
Our brethren's
Sought to
town is
tide
under
you
attack.
over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. Enable my revenge. Why have I surfaced? Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Convince me. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and
Unstoppable.
flow. I'll make it so. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Otherwise, convince me. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. Convince me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries.
Take your time.
Why
Look around.
have I surfaced?
Our brethren's town is under attack.
By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over.
Our brethren's town
By
is under
ebb
attack.
and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb
Our
and
brethren's
flow.
town is under attack.
Scum.
Is under attack.
Drown them all. Enable my revenge. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Convince. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Why have I
Killing spree.
Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. Convince. Why have I surfaced? Aid
Our
us
brethren's
in our
town is under
plight.
attack.
Make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Convince me. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me.
Wicked sin.
Make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries.
Our force
Binds me. By ebb and flow.
Monster kill.
Alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Land scum. Our alliance binds me.
Killing spree.
By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. Why This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. Convince me. I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. By ebb and flow. Spare the pleasantries. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. Why have I seen aid us in our plight? Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Why have I seen spare the pleasantries? This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Why
Welcome
have
to
I
our
serviced? Spare the pleasantry. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. This ought to tide you over.
Our forces are under attack.
Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so.
Godlike!
Spare the pleasantries. This ought
Our
to tide
forces are
you
under attack.
over. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries. This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. Over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. Enable my revenge. Aid us in our plight.
Our brethren's town is under
Convince
attack.
me. Aid us in our plight. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you.
Killing spree!
Spare the pleasantries. I have ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. Alliance binds me.
Holy shit! I come to you now at the turn of the tide. Spare the pleasantries. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over by ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow.
revenge. This ought to tide you over. Magic power. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Scum, I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. Convince me. This ought to by ebb and flow. Spare the pleasantries.
What news?
I have a service. Enable my revenge. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge.
Our brethren's
Why
town is
have
under
I
attack.
surfaced? This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. Spare the pleasantries. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Why have I service? I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Convince me.
Holy shit!
This in our plight. This ought to tide you over.
Mega kill! Killing spree, double kill. Killing spree, double kill. Dominating. Triple kill!
I come to you now at the turn of the tide. Spare the pleasantries. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Man-born scum. Alliance binds me. Why have I service? Drown them all. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. Convince me. flow. This ought to tide you over. Alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Veins dead. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so.
Double kill.
There. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow.
Killing spree. Our brethren's town is under attack.
I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Aid us in our plight. Drown them all. Convince me. Why have I served?
Our brethren's town is under attack.
Tide you over. Aid us in our plight. Our alliance binds me. Why have I served? This ought to tide you over. Make it so. Aid us in our plight. Veins dead. By ebb and flow. Why have I served? Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. Why have I served? Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Drown them all. Aid us in our plight. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. Why have I surfaced? Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Enable my revenge.
Give me something to do.
Hello.
Spare the pleasantries.
What is your wish?
Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. Aid us in our plight. Enable my revenge. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me.